Hey, remember Noah? Noah is a 2014 movie by Darren Aronofsky starring Javert, Sarah from Labyrinth, and Hermione. No one went to see that movie. All the secular people were like, boo-hoo-hoo, it's not atheist enough. And then all the religious people were like, why are there rock monsters in my Bible movie? Which is like, a fair critique. But I was all about this movie, even though, again, no one went to see it. The movie was like basically me and my two buddies and the Groenfeld mead that we had snuck into the theater. Incidentally, my first experience of sneaking alcohol into the theater. Why have I not done that before? Halfway through the movie is one of the most spectacular scenes in the history of biblical films, the Noah creation scene. So Noah is about to recount the story of creation to his children, and he starts it with this amazing piece of sound mixing.
In the beginning, there was nothing. Nothing but the silence of an infinite darkness.
And then he narrates the opening chapters of the Bible, almost word for word, as the history of the cosmos plays out as some sort of time lapse of galaxies and stars and asteroids.
Light was, and it was good. The first day. And then the formless light began to take on substance and shape. Second day.
Seamlessly blending biblical myth with scientific discovery. Yeah, I said myth. Not myth meaning urban legend of things that don't exist and never happened, like the moon landing or Canada, but myth like simple, easily memorized story that contains within it a lot of historical, physical, scientific, and metaphysical truth. You know, the kind of thing that would prove useful if you're trying to like give a foundation to a people or a culture or talk about God. So Aronofsky depicts a day not as a 24-hour period, but more like an era, an eon, perfectly showing how the inspired words at the beginning of the Bible contain within them all of this historical and metaphysical truth. It's almost like it's a myth that is also true. Because creation and evolution are not enemies of each other. Evolution is creation. Faith and reason are not enemies. They work together. We keep trying to tell you, but no one will listen. He still leaves a gap in between the monkeys and the people that have souls. I like that. Aronofsky pulled from the Bible to make the Noah movie, but he also pulled from other places, like the rabbis in the Talmud and Gnostic principles and stories. So you get details like this and this and this. He also made a very, very Talmudic move by doing this.
Air, water, earth, plant, fish, bird, and beast. Paradise returns. But this time there will be no men. If we were to enter the garden again, it would only be to destroy it once more. No. The Creator has judged us. Mankind must end.
Interpreting a story by adding details that are completely made up to make a point. The rabbis did this with Moses and Abraham. Aronofsky did it with Noah. Always being upfront about how these details come from somewhere other than the specific source, but it was all considered a legit way to interpret a story, so it stuck. So, Aronofsky does this with Noah, and suddenly, we don't just have a story about God, creation, sin, pain, judgment, and punishment. We also have a story about faith and fundamentalism. Noah starts the movie trusting God through all the weirdness of working with animals and building the ark, the horror of knowing everyone will die. But then he makes this leap all by himself into thinking that the Creator doesn't love humanity at all and that his family should die too. Notice that the Creator never told him that. He did that on his own, and it bleeds into everything, even the story of the foundation of his faith. God's decision to flood the earth isn't really questioned in this movie. Aronofsky does a really good job at showing how messed up we are. We deserved that flood. But Noah's ideas are not justified by the movie. His fake religiosity that started out real turns him against his family, his own grandchildren. Again, none of this actually happens in the Bible, but it's totally legit that Darren Aronofsky put it in his movie. Noah the man took his prophetic calling from God and he ran with it. Noah the movie took an old story and let it run off with new meaning, and a good meaning at that.
They rose from the dust, became great and mighty. But then they turned our gifts to violence.